I'm 8 years old, and I'm sitting in the front seat of my dad's blue Ford pickup truck. It's dark, it's cold, we're driving in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and I am nervous, because tomorrow I'm going to be shooting my first deer. In between me and my dad, there's this big gap where my older brother Colin should be, but he's not with us on this trip. My dad loves hunting. Grew up hunting. There's family legends that he would trap animals in the front yard, like squirrels and rattlesnakes, and take them back to the house and scare the crap out of my grandmother. So he loved it, and I think what he loved the most about it was just being out in nature, and he wanted to share that with us. So me and Colin went with him a lot. And he especially loved going with Colin because he was really good at it. In fact, Colin was really good at most things that my dad really liked. Sports, shooting cans in the backyard. Things came easy to him. He was kind of like an outdoors kid, and I was more of like an indoors kid. I was good at reading and video games. So being without him on this trip, I wasn't feeling great. We finally get to our destination. It's still pitch black, and it's a big ranch where the hunt's going to take place the next day. There's a bunkhouse, and there's a campfire where there's a bunch of dads and sons gathered around. So we unload the pickup truck, we put the stuff in the bunkhouse, go over to the campfire, and I'm kind of looking around the campfire to see if there's any other kids who look just as uncomfortable as I'm feeling in that moment. And I see this kind of wimpy-looking kid, and I get hopeful, and I sidle up next to him in the glow of the campfire. I actually realize that he's got a buck knife, and he's kind of handily skinning a deer like he's done it thousands of times. And I realize, oh man, I am alone in this. So we go to bed and wake up at probably 4 a.m. That's another joy of hunting. It's still pitch black, and the weather has dropped. The temperature is really, really cold. My dad calls these storms blue northers. And I still remember walking out of the cabin and the crunch underneath my feet as the ground had frozen. And I'd never felt that before as a kid growing up in Texas. So I'm in my oversized camo gear, I have the rifles on my shoulder, and I take all the stuff, crunch, 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 out to the blue Ford pickup, and we drive out to a box. If you've never been hunting before, this is literally what you do, is you sit in a box for hours, and you wait for the deer to come, and you shoot it. Simple as that. So we get into this box. My dad brought along a sleeping bag because it was so cold, and he stuffs me into the sleeping bag and puts me in the corner, and I zip up the sleeping bag over my head, and I'm just shivering in there, just praying that this deer does not come so I don't have to shoot it. But sure enough, a couple hours go by, and my dad whispers, John, come on over here, son. There's a big doe over here. This is your chance. So I unzip the sleeping bag, and I walk over to the stool where my dad's sitting. I take his place on the stool, and I position the rifle just like he showed me on my shoulder. We had been preparing for this moment for months, going to shooting ranges, target practice. I knew exactly what I needed to do. And he's kind of hovering over me, helping me position the gun on my shoulder. And I get it in a good place, and I've got the rifle pointed a couple 100 yards away, and I look through the scope, find the crosshairs, and I'm looking for the neck or the heart. That's where you're supposed to shoot the deer. One shot, so it goes down quick and it doesn't suffer. So I find the heart of the deer in the crosshairs, and I could still remember the steam coming off of the fur of the animal. It was so cold. And I steady my breathing. I've got my finger on the trigger, and all of a sudden I notice that the crosshairs start going blurry. and I realize that I'm crying. So I lower the rifle, and I look over at my dad, and I say, "Dad, I just can't do it." So he picks up the gun and he shoots the deer. Years later, I was thinking about this moment, and I asked him what he was feeling. He must have been so disappointed in me. And he kind of grinned and chuckled, and he said, "Are you kidding me? It takes a lot of guts to stand up to your dad like that, not to mention all those other people. I'm so proud of you, son." Thank you.